Well, good morning, everyone. It's Ted Pancoast again here in Kettle Falls. So we've been on about a 2-year journey chasing after lean. I hate to say that because we're just now making the videos. But one of the things we did at the beginning was read the Toyota Production System, TPS, the Toyota way. And then we read Paul Akers' book. So we want to talk today about the changes that we made from batch and queue manufacturing to one-piece flow. In a cabinet shop, that seemed hard, but we did it, and we're going to walk you through it. Okay, so we would start out here in the production area. There's our forklift. And we would grab this plywood here. One of the things we do is make cabinets for Hughes Marine, so we would batch together about 24 cabinets at a time. That turned out to be 6 boats, so we would cut those parts over on the saw. We'll show you where that is next. Okay, so we just drive the forklift up right behind our big saw here, and we could pull the parts onto it and like I said, cut about 24 cabinets at a time. I'd have one guy cutting and one guy catching and putting them in that sick cart over there, making a big pile and label them and, you know, what cabinet is what. So that's how we used to do it. Okay, so once we got a big pile of boards on the cart, and we would fill this whole thing up, believe it or not, we would just jam it full. It's on wheels, so we would wheel it all around the shop, and the next process would be the slaughter there. So we'd run it through the slaughter, then we'd push it, you know, put it back in the cart, turn it, run it through the T-molder, and then actually usually pile the parts back over on the saw. I know this is crazy, but this is how we did it. Then we would push that whole cart over into that room where our edge sander used to be, and then we would push that whole cart over here to the CNC, and it was you know, everything was always in our way, and then we'd run the parts on the CNC, and we'd struggle to move this big stupid cart over to the assembly area. So that's what we used to do. So you can see in that whole thing what we did was you know, the beginning of the 8 deadly waste. Overproduction at the beginning really buried our downstream processes and struggled through the rest of it. Here's the case clamp. So once we would get all the parts, you know, on our cart ready to go, we'd stick them in the case clamp, and we would just start assembling them as fast as we could, and we'd go through and wind up in this assembly area and literally like pile the cabinets up to the ceiling in here and really just bury ourselves, and eventually wind up back out in that first area and boxing up the cabinets. So they would come right through here and get boxed back up out in our assembly area in these boxes and loaded on the truck. So you can see the batch manufacturing really had us mesmerized. Okay, so we ditched a lot of stuff to get to one-piece flow. Now we actually have this rack. Sometimes you need 4 different materials to make one cabinet, which we found we were wasting a lot of time going in and out with the fork. So we'll put all 4 of those materials on this, and then we can back this up and literally pull them straight onto the saw still. So you see we don't have that cart over there anymore, and what we've done is we made this Japanese U-shaped cell over here. So the guy on the other side of the saw catches the part, sticks it straight into the slaughter there. You can T-mold it right there, which is just a few feet away. And then over here, you can see we moved that sander that used to be in the other room to sand the ends off and scrape it. Bam, right onto the CNC. And one of the best improvements we made is, used to struggle a little bit to find the programs, but we put this deal up on the wall here that's got all the program numbers for the different cabinets that we make, and you can see they're color coded by cabinet, so we know if we're making a 3-drawer bank, it's all those blue ones, which that's pretty awesome. It turns out one of our guys is colorblind, so that doesn't help him. But anyway, parts go straight over to the assembly area, where we will assemble one cabinet at a time now, and we got about a 15-minute window before we can have the next one ready. So we got a couple of timers up here on the clamp. We poke that button, we know when that's going off that the next cabinet will be ready to go in there, and it turns out that's about the amount of time that we need to machine it. A couple quick improvements here. We put right on our miter saw on the other side of this a place to mount the drawer fronts. Also, the hardware that we need we brought over here and mounted on this wall. We got all of our drills right there, so the cabinets go through here very quickly. You can see we also have some tools that we've shadow boarded onto the wall there. You know, if we want to get that hammer, we get it, and it's shadow boarded, we put it back, we know it's gone. Very organized at the end of the day. So now we don't pile the cabinets in here anymore. We got a lot more room work on them, and they follow that same path back out here, and we will literally box up the cabinet, put it straight into the truck, and deliver it as it's needed. So that cart is moot, actually. That stuff on it is stuff we don't really use anymore. So I know what you're thinking. Did it help us? Oh man, did it help us. I actually know from doing that for 5 years, batch and queue, that it would take 2 guys about 3 days to make that big batch of cabinets that we're talking about. So after moving the machines around, making the improvements that we've made, now those same 2 guys can get that same amount of work done in a day and a half. So it is literally 50% faster. That's a game changer for us. I've been able to raise $300,000 in the last 3 years for adoptions, Paul. Never could have done that if we would have been doing it the old way. So thank you so much. I can't say how thankful I am that we have learned what we've learned. So I hope you guys will try it. If you got questions, I'm happy to answer them. You guys have a wonderful day.